I think it's safe for us to assume at this point that the album phase of music, especially hip hop, is basically done. There's basically no more album. That's been replaced by the playlist. And with it being replaced with the playlist comes a natural catering to the shorter attention spans of the public. You don't have too many savorings of experience now. All of that is being given and delivered in real time, second by second, frame by frame basis. As an artist, it would be seemingly no need for you to express yourself poetically if you're going to be living your life in front of the world on camera. There's going to be some sense of redundancy there unless you're extremely creative in the artistic field. So with that being said, it stands to question, is there anything that you would consider 5 mic worthy? This is for those who were around in the times of the Source. What was considered an excellent album would get a rating of 5 mics. I'm coming from the 5 mic era of hip hop, where there was almost nothing of experience lived in front of the camera. You had to put it all on wax. So with the pre-world of social media, so before social media's prevalence in society, you had to chose to sit down with a cassette, open up the artwork, unfold the pages, right? If you had a cassette tape, unfold the pages. It'd be like a comic strip, be folded up. You reading the credits. You want to read who did the beats, who produced this one, who produced that one, what's the name of this song, what's the name of that one. Because there was no rectangle for you to immediately just have in the palm of your hand that would have all this information in front of you. So a lot was left up to the imagination, and it made it easier for the artists to enter the subconscious of the listener's mental framework, their mental landscape. The person didn't have anything to do. They was probably going to spend a quarter of their day going to get the music, especially if they had to travel by metro. You figure we're in high school at the time, so a lot of us didn't have cars yet. So that was a bus ride. That was 2 buses, depending on how close you were from the store, from the radio store, from the Strawberries of the world, from the Radio Expresses of the world, from the, any place that had the cassettes and the CDs. It's 5 mics went into the experience. It went into all of these things that you really can't include. You can include it in your music now, but it's going to be competing with your physical presence being oversaturated and inserted into the mainframe, into the media mainframe. They're looking for sites now, and it's becoming less about personal reliance when it comes to the mind and the imagination. So the audience is not really living with you as much now, even though they see you more. They might be like trying to step in on you every moment and see what it is, but that's more fodder. And a lot of that can actually divert from the artist's actual artistry. They're probably not knowledgeable enough to express themselves artistically when they're seen, to physically present themselves artistically, and not just at a concert, at a show, in the booth, on the radio shows, kicking freestyles. If they can be an artist outside of the rap situation, then the constant presence in front of the camera will feed into that. But what you have sometimes is a discrepancy there in this 5 mic quest. You have an artist who is only artistic in the booth or at the shows, but they can't do an interview to save their lives. But all of this is part of the art, and this is part of the 5-fold hip hop. You had your graffiti, you had your spoken word, you had your rap, you had your break dancing, basically all of the 5 elements. But these 5 elements will be embodied in a single MC, or I should say a single rapper, because not all MCs are rappers and not all rappers are MCs. MCs is exactly what it is, master of ceremonies. Now, if you're not leading any ceremony as an artist, which unless you're expressing yourself artistically in front of the camera, you cannot do, your audience is going to be lost in translation. They're going to be lost trying to find out where your artistry ends and where your actual life begins. But if as a person you're expressing yourself artistically, even if there's embellishment, even if there's intentional storytelling and pushing of the envelope, which is what I like to do in a lot of my music. I like to talk grandiose about stuff that maybe I'll never have, but I like to talk about it as if I have it, because this sends not only a good message to the artist, other artists and other listeners, because it envelops them in the world of what they want, but it's also good practice for me in transparency in front of the world, that I will project the things that I want and speak them as though I have them, that I'm actually putting the law of attraction into practice just by the way I'm expressing my music. If I'm saying that I have this and that, and whether I have this or that is really irrelevant. It's all about how I can artistically communicate having this or that. But see, when you get caught in the root chakra on the ground level of hip hop, and when you get closed out of the art and you get locked into the business, it doesn't become about artistry anymore. It becomes about sales. It becomes about product placement. It becomes about advertisement at that point. And it doesn't become about matters of mind and matters of soul and matters of expansion and the unfolding of the imagination. It doesn't become that. The coloring book only has 2 colors, black and white, when you enter the music business. But if you're just going to do music and conduct business on an entrepreneurial grassroots level, then you're fine. You're free to be an artist. There's no constraints. There's no you're the one that's running your own show, so you can do the whole thing through the lens of an artist, not through the lens of an A&R who may not understand your story or really understand the nuances that come with your demographic, but expressing yourself in all facets of your business as you, thereby leaving the most authentic blueprint of you in all facets of your business. So this is the business of the 5 mic quest. And if you want to get back to the 5 mic quest, there's a way to do that, but you have to be more colorful. You have to get out of this tone of, if I don't own it, I can't talk about it. Because reality is what entertainment is trying to get everybody out of anyway. So there's no need for you to try to be overly real if you're an entertainer. That doesn't make sense. Because what if your real life is not as entertaining? Now you're stretching the bounds of artistry to the outer limits, when you can make a hit song about taking out the trash and it sound good and you involve in all of the details. See, there's a lot of rappers who are not poets yet. Just like I said, there's a lot of rappers who are MCs, and there are a lot of MCs who are not rappers. A rapper, you just going in there rapping. The MC is the one who uses their words intentionally to connect to the listener, because they're a master of ceremonies. They're not just mastering the ceremony by themselves with no participants in the ceremony. There are participants in the ceremony that they are responsible for mentally transmuting to involve them in the experience into the world. But if the world is only seen through the rectangle, and that artist doesn't have enough skin in the game or enough artistic prowess to express all of the other facets that are not seen on camera, then they're just going to be an elaborate name with a plain sticker. Super T Sigma, Sigma Programming. Stay motivated, stay elevated. Peace.